At LP Field in Nashville, Tennessee, you'll find Titans on the field, but an Eagle on the sidelines. I came to Nashville to meet Tennessee Titans head coach and Eagle Scout Ken Whisenhunt. I'm going to ask him about his time in scouting, his tips for coaching, and his thoughts on leadership. Well, thanks, Coach, for having us here to your facility. I want to first talk a little bit about scouting and wonder what some of your favorite scouting memories are from your time and growing up.
Well, we did go to the Jamboree one year, and I almost got kicked out because I had a duffel bag to put my clothes in, and after I wore them, I started putting them under my bed. My bed had to be made up every day, and after about a week, I had quite a collection of clothes under my bed, and our scout leader came to me and he says, Ken, you've got to put those clothes away because you're going to get points off because it doesn't look very tidy. And you know, how dumb of me to not know that all I had to do was stuff the dirty clothes back in the duffel bag and Mom would take care of that when I got home. But I remember that. Don't ask me why. But you know, I do remember the Jamboree. I remember the camps. I remember it was a lot of fun. That's
awesome. And your Eagle project, what can you remember about working on that Eagle project and the impact it had on the community?
We had a playground that was used by a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and it was a couple of us that went together on the project to redo that playground. And when I go back to Augusta, which is where scouting was for me, I still go by that playground and look at it and think about all the improvements that we made to it and how over the years the number of children, families that enjoyed that park.
That's awesome. And then, you know, there's just 50,000 Eagle Scouts a year, and you can multiply the type of commitment that people like you have had by that number.
That's a lot of good that's being done. You know, that's one of the things I really respect about scouting.
When you look back on scouting, do you see any skills that you developed that have helped you in your lengthy and successful coaching career?
You know, one of the underrated parts of football, of the NFL, is service back to the community. And I think a lot of our players are really involved with foundations or charities or trying to make an impact in the community. And to me, that's really what scouting's all about. It's a bunch of people that want to serve, that want to work together as a team to help whoever it is.
So you've got 53 different personalities and you got to get them all to share your vision. Is that a challenge at times, and how do you overcome that?
Well, I think these guys see pretty quickly if you're somebody that can help them attain their goal, which, let's face it, this is about winning, that they'll buy in. But I think you have to have a plan, you have to be committed to that plan, and you have to present it in a way that they believe it can make them better. And you know, that's really interacting with people. And that's what scouting is. On whatever level that it is, I'm sure that I learned a lot about dealing with, whether it was an Eagle Scout, a Life Scout, whatever walk of life that they were in scouting, having to deal with all the different levels and the different people has helped me.
We were in the auditorium earlier, and there's a poster on the wall. You know, it's the Lombardi Trophy, and it's a Stephen Covey quote.
Start with the end in mind.
Yes, yeah, you know it, of course. Start with the end in mind, and that's something we talk about in scouting too. It's, you know, the vision. Explain what that poster means and how important it is for you to start with the end in mind.
Well, it's a poster that shows the Super Bowl trophy, and everybody wants the Super Bowl trophy, and everybody starts with the idea we're going to win a Super Bowl. But to break it down, you start with that, but the end in mind is how you get there. I think what's most important for us is to put a team on the field that represents our fans and our city the right way. We want to have a home playoff game. That's one of the things that's really important, because you go through a season and you have so much support, so many ups and downs, that you want to give your fans the ultimate high, which is a playoff game. So, you know, you work hard to try to get that. It's an advantage, but really you want to represent your fans and your city the right way.
Do you have any other, parallels that you can draw between scouting and coaching?
Yeah, you got about an hour? No, there's a lot. I mean, obviously, to me, one of the things you can probably gather from talking to me, the team component is a big thing. And I think that those are two things that are important in both scouting and in football that you have. Working together, discipline, serving others, which is one of the words you use to describe scouting. And even though it's hard to say how are you serving others as a pro football player, Well, when you go to the high school and you speak about things that are important to young men and women, you're serving your community, and you're on a platform where you can do that because you're in a profession that's respected by so many, looked up to by so many people. So there's those avenues that I think are very similar to scouting, and I'm convinced that there's a lot of things that I learned from scouting that I use at this level of the NFL.
I've got my team, but now I'm also a big fan of Ken Whisenhunt. Thanks to Coach and the entire Tennessee Titans organization for having us, and we wish them the best of luck this season.